The Better Show. We're here to make your life better.
You know what? We've got some experts with us today who could perhaps talk a little bit about this. We've got fashion expert Liliana Vasquez over there. Liliana, what do you think? Sandals and socks?
Definitely a no. Although there have been moments in fashion when socks and sandals have been appropriate.
Really?
Yeah, a few years ago.
For women, though, right?
For women, it's a very fashion-forward look. I do not recommend it.
Okay.
Right.
And I just want to know how much were those shoes that you have on, because they're pretty good looking.
I'm good. Well,
Aren't
thank
they
you.
good looking?
Thank you very much. They're
Yeah.
Hugo Boss. But Dr. Woody is over there as well. Check out his shoes.
I just want to know what my shoes say about
What do they say about it?
I think that they say that you're professional with a flair. Right?
Professional, but he has a great personality.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I like that. And his socks,
I do
too. I like your socks.
His socks match his pocket scarf, too, by the way.
He's very fashionable.
This
He's
is a
giving
guy
me
that's-
tips.
See, I like that. Guys can do that. They can wear the socks and the cool shoes, and it gives them some personality.
Dr. Woody is put together over there.
Yeah, I know.
absolutely love that.
Don't let him intimidate
We're
you.
going to check back with those two in just a little bit. We're going to talk about cheap fashion, how to get a really good look.
Yeah.
Dr. Woody's going to talk about what companies are hiring during the holiday season and how you can turn that job into a full-time job.
Yeah. And up next, Dr. Woody wants to help you get a job this holiday season and keep it.
Looking for a job? Well, now is the time when most companies are actually hiring.
Here to help you take advantage of this opportunity and possibly turn it into a full-time gig is career expert and author of The U Plan, Michael Woodward, also known as Dr. Woody. Welcome.
Good to have you
Always good
back.
to be here, yes.
So the National Retail Federation is projecting retailers will hire between 720,000 and 780,000 temp workers this season. So who exactly is hiring?
Yeah, it always starts out with your traditional brick and mortar stores. So we all know, like, Macy's is going to bring on about 80,000, Target about 70,000, and then Walmart around 55,000. So you always start with your major retailers around the country because they need the most help this time of year.
And this is to deal with the rush of holiday shoppers, and that starts earlier every year, right?
It does start earlier every year, and it's going to be starting, I mean, now. Right? Now is the time to be looking for these jobs because they need the help now because they're, you know, the sales are starting.
And
Well,
if
who
we're-
else? Go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, if we're not looking at those
Right.
big brick and mortar stores, who else hires?
Yeah, the important thing is keep in mind that it's not just retail who needs help during the holiday season. Who else is out there being driven by holiday sales? So local resorts, even grocery stores, hospitality, catering, anyone that needs help that's going to feel that rush, you need to go look in those places too.
Okay.
Well, you said you have like 3 places to go look for these jobs. What are they?
Well, first, you always start by going where you know. So any stores that you shop at or places you're familiar with, you know their products, you know their services, and they might even know you. So that might be a good place to start to kind of get a leg up and you feel comfortable.
Okay.
And that's also, those tend to be closer to home because they're part of your regular haunt, which is nice, right?
Right. And then the second thing is tap your friends and family. So if people don't know you're looking for a job, they cannot help you. And so get on Facebook, text, make a phone call, because you never know. You may have that cousin who has a friend who's a manager at a local retail store who might need somebody, but we like those trusted referrals, so make sure you tap into that.
So you can use social media to, you know, put it out there.
Yeah.
You can definitely use social media. And beyond that, of course, I always say make sure to search mobile. Because right now, most stores are allowing people to apply online. So even sites like Tweet My Jobs have mobile apps that'll help you geolocate what stores nearby you are hiring, and you can click on and hire right from your mobile phone.
Wow.
Fantastic. When it comes to actually making an application, what can people do to give themselves the best chance to get a job? It's still a competitive job market out there, yeah?
It's going to be very competitive during the holiday season. There's going to be a big rush of people getting out there. So first, do your homework. Know as much about the position and the company as you can.
Okay.
That's why I always like to say, you know, you go where what's familiar to you. But if you don't know about them, get online, research them. Also, make sure that your references are in order, that they know how to contact them, you have the right information, and let your references know that people may be contacting them so that they're not taken by surprise.
What can you do if you feel like your resume isn't totally up to par? I know a lot of people who haven't worked in a while. They're worried about how their resume looks. What do you do to show people that you've got the skills they want?
Well, always tailor your resume to the position, no matter what it is, because you want to make sure that you're speaking to them and that shows you did your homework. But anything like volunteering, being part of a parent-teacher association, any of that stuff is relevant, and talk about the skills that position required or that volunteering required.
Well, good. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Good
We're going to
stuff.
take a quick break. And when we return, tips on how you can turn your temp job into a full-time one.
We are back with Dr. Woody. We've gotten a job now. We've taken his advice. The question is, how do we turn this temp job, the seasonal job, into a full-time job?
Yeah, and first of all, remember that a temporary job is an opportunity at a foot in the door. So you got to make sure you use that to your advantage. And I'll tell you right now, don't just take my word for it. In the past, Target's retained 30% of their temp staff. Already this year, Amazon has converted 7,000 of their temp workers into full-time jobs. So this actually does happen, and companies look at this, so be ready.
So what should we do?
So first of all, make the right impression. In other words, get on the radar screen of those decision makers who will be doing the hiring in the future. And things like, you know, filling in for someone who doesn't show up or just taking on an extra shift. Just get on their radar so they know you're there.
Be that reliable person, that go-to person.
Yeah.
You also say to build your who you know network. What does that mean?
Yes, I look at every individual you meet as an opportunity or a gateway to another opportunity. So make sure not just to get to know your boss, but your colleagues, even people who work at the store next door, because you never know what opportunity they may have that would fit you in the future.
And you also say demonstrate your value.
Yes, any good salesperson knows how to upsell, right? So when you're there, you want to make sure you let them know other skills you can do. So say you were an office assistant before you got this job and you're great at scheduling. The manager may need someone to do scheduling. Volunteer to do that, and then you become indispensable because who wants to do the scheduling?
Right.
No, apparently you do, and that's a good thing.
Right.
And this one sounds really basic, but I think it goes overlooked. You say, don't be afraid to ask. Let them know that you're looking.
Yes. If people don't know, they cannot help you, right? So that's part of getting on that radar and staying on their radar screen is let them know you're interested, what you're interested in, and that you have the skills because they'll likely remember you as opposed to somebody else.
Right.
And for lastly, you say to stay connected.
Yes. So even if the opportunity ends, that doesn't mean your relationship should end. And I'm an obsessive user of LinkedIn. So ping them on LinkedIn and stay in contact with them. Swing by the store ever so often just to check in. Do you need help? I'm available.
You know, when I look at these tips and I think of impress the right people and I think of stay connected and I say build your network, it sounds like it's a lot more about human contact and about making these relationships at the business.
And get your head out of your smartphone sometimes and actually make meaningful connections with people because that's what the job market is about. Who you know.
Yeah, when you're at the job, you don't want to be on your phone the whole time. I've seen people like that. I'm like, what? What are you doing?
It makes me insane. I want to smack the phone out of their hand when I see it. It drives me nuts.
Boy, thank you so much. Great information. Hopefully it gets a bunch of people back to work.
Yes, and up next,